Sophia sat quietly at the edge of the grand ballroom, her wheelchair angled near the tall windows that framed the evening sky. Golden light spilled through the panes, catching the sparkle of chandeliers and reflecting off polished marble floors. The air was thick with laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the soft rustle of satin gowns as couples moved gracefully across the dance floor. She adjusted the hem of her emerald dress, feeling the weight of its elegance and the weight of being alone in a room full of celebration. Guests passed by with polite nods or quick smiles, rarely lingering long enough to engage in real conversation. Sophia told herself she didn't mind. After years of commanding boardrooms, she had grown accustomed to blending into the background. Yet as she watched her cousin swirl in her wedding gown, radiant and carefree, a quiet ache pressed at her chest. Happiness for someone else mingled with the familiar sting of solitude, a reminder that some parts of life she had postponed for ambition were still waiting. Sophia's thoughts were interrupted when a shadow fell across her table. A man stood there, tall and broad-shouldered, his navy suit slightly rumpled as if he had rushed to arrive. His hair carried a casual wave, and his eyes scanned the room until they landed on her. There was no flicker of pity, no hesitation, only curiosity and warmth. "Mind if I sit here?" he asked, his voice steady and kind, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Sophia blinked, momentarily caught off guard. Few people ever approached her like this. "Of course," she replied, her voice soft but polite. He slid into the chair beside her with an ease that immediately eased her tension, his presence somehow comforting. There was a sincerity in the way he looked at her. Not at her wheelchair, not at her title, but at her, as if he were genuinely interested in the person she was beneath the surface. He leaned slightly forward, resting his glass on the table before extending a hand. "I'm Daniel," he said, his tone casual but warm. "My daughter was the flower girl, the one who nearly tripped halfway down the aisle." Sophia's lips curved into an involuntary smile. She was wonderful. No one noticed the stumble, just her big, bright smile. Daniel's face lit up, pride evident in his expression. "That's Lily. She practiced for days, but nerves always win at the last moment. Honestly," he added with a conspiratorial grin, "she only agreed to do it because I promised her there would be cake." Sophia laughed, a genuine, unguarded sound that surprised even her. The tension she hadn't realized she was holding eased just a little. Conversation flowed naturally after that, about work, parenthood, small life frustrations and tiny victories. For the first time that evening, Sophia felt herself truly seen, as though Daniel weren't simply making polite chatter, but actually noticing her for who she was. The music shifted to a soft, melodic waltz, and couples began gliding across the dance floor. Sophia's gaze drifted to them, a pang of longing stirring in her chest, but before the feeling could settle, Daniel stood and extended his hand toward her. "I know this might sound sudden, but, will you be my date tonight?" Her breath caught. The question wasn't just about dancing. It was an invitation to step out of the sidelines, to be seen, to share a moment of connection. She studied his face, noting the sincerity in his eyes and the gentle confidence in his posture. After a heartbeat, she placed her hand in his. His grip was firm but reassuring as he guided her toward the edge of the dance floor. Soon, Lily joined them, giggling with frosting on her cheeks, weaving between them like a spark of joy. Surrounded by music, laughter, and warmth, Sophia felt a quiet thrill. For the first time in years, she was chosen, seen, and truly alive in the moment. As Sophia settled into the rhythm of the evening, she realized how different this felt from any other event she had attended. Daniel didn't try to impress her with flashy words or accomplishments. He simply shared pieces of his life, small stories about his daughter, late-night parenting struggles, and the simple joys that made his world turn. Sophia found herself laughing freely, a sound she hadn't made in a long time outside the office. Lily twirled around them, her tiny hands sticky with frosting, insisting they join her in a playful little dance. Daniel followed her lead, spinning his daughter gently before guiding Sophia into the circle. The three of them moved together, laughter and music blending into a warmth that seemed to wrap around Sophia like a soft, protective blanket. For the first time in years, she felt the subtle shift from isolation to connection, being noticed, chosen, and included in a life that felt unexpectedly full of promise. As the night wore on, the ballroom seemed to fade around them. Sophia, Daniel, and Lily became a small world of their own, filled with laughter, gentle teasing, and easy conversation. For once, the weight of her titles, achievements, and the expectations of others felt irrelevant. Here, she was simply Sophia, a woman who could laugh, dance, and be seen without judgment. Daniel leaned closer, his eyes warm and steady. "I'm really glad I found you tonight," he said softly. "I don't usually do this, but I'm glad I did." Sophia felt her chest tighten in a way she hadn't expected. She realized that what she had been missing wasn't just companionship, it was someone who saw her entirely, not just the polished CEO or the woman in a wheelchair. As the final song played, they moved together, Lily spinning between them, and Sophia felt something rare, a quiet certainty that maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something beautiful.